Something that I keep discovering over and over again is that life is really, truly simple. And that is something that I think a lot of us deny over and over and over and over and over again, because ultimately we don't want to take the responsibility for our decisions in our life. And to some extent, you can say blame others for situations that happen. You know, you don't necessarily have control over every little thing that occurs in your life. However, you do ultimately always have control over how you react to any given situation. So oftentimes when people tell me, well, I can't do something, I tell them, no, you can, you just don't want to, and that's okay. Because the statement, I can't, is disempowering. So if you actually want to accomplish anything in your life, you have to kind of throw the words, I can't, out of your vocabulary, because they, by nature, disempower you. They actually prevent you from achieving your goals. And that's something that I don't think we acknowledge often enough. I'm somebody who struggled with weight my entire life. And I have tried dieting on many, many different occasions. You know, I wanted to start losing weight when I was 7 years old, which I'm now 29, so that's 22 years ago, and I'm turning 30 this year, so 23 almost. So here I am, 23 years into my weight loss journey, basically, going, well, I'm finally losing weight at long last and consistently and sustainably, but it took a freaking long time. And why? And the reason for that is because I never actually tried enough to get the results that I was looking for. Because the answer to weight loss is really, really simple. Eat fewer calories than you burn on a daily basis. And even though that's not necessarily an easy calculation to come up with, it is simple. It's very simple. It's not easy to implement. The particular steps are very challenging and difficult at times. This can be a very hard process, but all things considered, it is still very simple. All you have to do is get into a calorie deficit and stick in a calorie deficit for long enough to achieve your ideal body. And then, you know, there are some theories about how you could potentially rev up your metabolism to a comfortable level again, but you have to be committed to a lengthy process, as in possibly years, in order to reach your goal. And the same goes for business, and the same goes for relationships. Like, there is no end goal to the work you need to put into something. And ultimately, if you don't put in the work, you don't achieve the goal. So when people tell me, well, I tried everything I possibly can to accomplish X, I have to disagree. Because I know that if you indeed put all of yourself into something, you would not have failed. Because if you're still alive and have more power in you to keep trying, there's more. You know, you can't put all of yourself into something and fail unless you die, at which point it becomes irrelevant. So when somebody says, I can't do something, I'm like, no, you don't want to do something. And that's okay, because it is okay for you to decide, I don't want to do something. I am not prepared to take those actions. I think that's actually more empowering to say, because you're making a choice now. You're determining that this is not what I want to do with my life at the moment, even though maybe the overarching goal is. Where you're like, I want to lose weight, but I don't want to have to think that much about how to get into a calorie deficit. And there are certainly ways that you can get into a calorie deficit that are less challenging than others, and that's something that I've been trying to learn and focus on. But those are details. Those are different approaches to the same goal, and you can choose whatever approach you want to, and you can go with a fast route, or you can go with an easy route, or you can do some combination of the two, or you can diet for a little while and then not diet for a little while and kind of cycle back and forth. Any of these things are a choice. Any of these are legitimate approaches and could potentially get you the result that you're looking for. But you have to know that if you have not achieved your goal yet, it's because you haven't done the work. And I know that that seems harsh, but the truth is, if you can acknowledge that, you're actually much more capable of accomplishing your goals than you ever thought you were before. So generally speaking, I would say stop telling people that you've done everything. And I know the temptation to go into that particular avenue of thought where you're like, I don't know what to do now, because there are certainly moments where it's not clear how to move forward. But when you say things like, there is no other path, there is no way for me to achieve my goal, you cut off your creativity, and you can no longer think of solutions to your problem. You no longer have things to research. You no longer have places to go, really. You're stuck where you are, and you've accepted that. So if instead you can say, I'm comfortable where I'm at and I'm not ready to change, that still gives you the opportunity to shift in the future when your circumstances shift a little bit. Now, that is something worth discussing as well, though, because circumstances are never going to be perfect. You will never reach a point where everything's lined up perfectly and you can now start a new project. In fact, if everything is lined up perfectly at one particular moment, it will not be for long. So oftentimes, it's better to actually start a process during the busy time, because it's going to be really freaking hard at the start because your life is in chaos. But then when things start to even out, you're like, wow, this is so much easier. So if you're going through a breakup, a really intense breakup, that may be the perfect time to start trying to lose weight, because now you're adding added difficulty. And then as things start to settle out in your relationship, you'll find that the weight loss is easier too, because now you're less stressed in every part of your life, and you'll understand your capacity for being consistent and sticking with something long term because you started out in the most difficult time you could have. So ultimately, that's a great approach, although I do understand that people don't necessarily want to do that. It is challenging to take on a new project. It's very difficult to figure out how to implement, how to get the results that you're looking for, to navigate all the pitfalls and potholes and all of the difficulties that just present themselves to you. So I know that it's difficult, I know that it's hard, but it is very, very simple. If you want to lose weight, be in a calorie deficit. If you want to make money, sell some products. If you want to find a relationship, talk to people. And ultimately, if you do any of those things, you will get the desired result, assuming you keep working at it until you figure out the nuance that works for you specifically. So here I am trying to build a business as well, and it is a very, very frustrating process because I don't yet have the audience that I need in order to create a sustainable business for myself. Now, I do utilize a business model that will likely scale very quickly. And I know that network marketing is not something that everybody loves, but when you understand the scalability of a network marketing business and you understand how network marketing businesses, legitimate network marketing businesses work, I don't know that anybody can actually hate them. In fact, most business people who do have successful businesses look at network marketing with admiration, where they're like, that's actually really smart. So I do agree with that kind of philosophy now, where I'm like, yeah, network marketing is a powerful thing. But even with the relative ease of network marketing as far as building a successful, profitable business goes, it's still a lot of work to figure out how to sell products. And that's literally all you're doing in a network marketing or an affiliate marketing business. Somebody else has done the product stuff for you. You don't have to do that. And oftentimes they're actually really awesome products too, as in better than most of the products you're going to get in the grocery store anyway. So you have half the business done for you, and now all you need to learn is the marketing. But learning how to market is really freaking hard. You don't necessarily know how to connect with people. You don't necessarily know how to create a customer out of somebody. It kind of feels scammy at times to sell things to people, and figuring out how to be yourself and get the results you're looking for can be quite a challenge. So yes, building a business, very, very simple, but figuring out the nuance, figuring out the details is the hardest part. So anything you're trying to accomplish is exactly the same, as I've said. You get married, you don't stop working on your relationship, because if you do, you get divorced. You have to keep putting in time. You have to keep getting to know your partner. And you have to keep putting in effort into your health. And you have to keep working at your finances. And the life that you've decided that you want to have can only be achieved through consistent work to get that result. And if you don't have it, you haven't done the work. And it's just as simple as that. So as harsh as that truth can feel at times, I believe that if you actually embrace it, it will benefit you and you will live a happier life.